Hi guys. So it's been a minute. I kind of missed May, and I'm sorry about that. It was not intentional. Life just kind of got ahead of me. Um, there's really not a whole much that happened. You didn't really miss a whole lot. I cut and colored my hair, so now I have this cute little green bob. But really, nothing's different. Hormones are going good. Um, I don't remember if I had doubled them by by the last time we talked. So if I hadn't yet, no, I did at the beginning of May. Beginning of May, we doubled my dosage. So where's my bag? I actually have my meds with me, so I can actually tell you guys what I'm taking, because I know I wanted to tell you guys. So I'm taking 100 milligrams of spironolactone twice a day. Spironolactone is my testosterone blocker. So this is what blocks the testosterone production. And then I take 2 milligrams of estradiol. Estradiol twice a day as well. And the estradiol I have to dissolve under my tongue. But the giant fucking horse pills of T blockers, I just take orally like anything else. What else is new? I started a round of antidepressants shortly after we doubled my hormone dosage. My depression was just getting a little too much for me to handle anymore. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm on hormones. So my moods and my hormones are everywhere, so it's harder to maintain and sort of manage my depression. So I went to my doctor and I was like, "Hi, I need to add some happy pills to my crazy pills." So, but it seems to be going really well. I feel better. I feel a lot better, actually. I remember the first day that I noticed a difference with the antidepressants. I woke up and I was like, I was in a genuinely good mood. Like genuinely happy when I was awake, which is weird. I was like, oh, is this what like neurotypical people feel like every day? Wonderful. I got a tattoo. I got a new one on my hand. Yeah. Not a whole lot has changed, really. My chest is a little bit bigger. And they're starting to get tender again, which means they're growing again. So yay, we get more growth. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot. Really the only thing I guess I can talk about is, just because I've been dealing with it pretty heavily lately, is I wanted to talk a bit about dysphoria for people that don't know. So I'm going to try to describe it as best I can, but gender dysphoria is something that's really hard. I think it's really hard to explain to cisgendered people, because there's no way you can understand it as a cisgendered person, and that's not like an insult or anything. It is. It's the same thing as like trying to describe because gender dysphoria is classified as a mental illness. It's the same as trying to describe any other mental illness to somebody who doesn't have it. You know, it's a hard thing to do. So basically gender dysphoria is anxiety caused by the disconnect between my gender identity and my body. Right, and obviously hormones help with that, but I'm still obviously not where I want to be, right? Because I just started, it's been 4 months. It's hard. Like, the big ones for me are facial hair and my voice. Those are the two big ones that really set off my dysphoria a lot. Because facial hair, obviously, is very stereotypically a masculine thing and a thing that men have. And before I started hormones, my facial hair grew very, very fast, very thick. My body hair is the same way. So since I started hormones, my body hair and my facial hair is a lot easier to maintain, because it doesn't grow back nearly as fast, and it's a lot finer and softer, so it's easier to deal with. But it's still an issue for me. And my voice, I've been trying to look on YouTube on like tips and tricks for how to feminize your voice, but I haven't really found much. It's mostly people just like blabbing about it and being like, oh, so this is what vocal feminization is. And I'm like, that's nice. I need to know how to do it. So I'm trying to figure that out. But yeah, those are the two big ones. And lately I've actually been having more issues with the shape of my body. You know, I'm 6 foot. There's no way around that. I lie on dating profiles and say I'm 5'11" because it makes me feel better. But I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm built very much like a man, right? Like, there are some cisgendered men that I've seen that are built, you know, a little more, not, I don't want to say curvy, but they could pass a lot easier in certain clothes, right? If they wanted to, you know, or, you know, trans women who aren't on hormones yet, who just sort of naturally have a more feminine shape. I'm very boxy. and I know there are cisgendered women that have more boxier frames and things like that, but, you know, I have a wide rib cage, broad shoulders, and I'm just so boxy. And usually I'm fine with it, but this past week I had a day where my dysphoria was really, really bad, to the point where I didn't want to be around any of my female friends. Most of my friends where I work are girls, and everyone in the department that I work in are all women, including the lead, and I just didn't want to be there. I messaged a friend of mine who is trans. I messaged him because I was just freaking out and I needed to talk to somebody about it who understood, because I was crying in my station, like praying nobody would see me, because I didn't want it to turn into something, but I couldn't stop crying, because I felt so terrible and so uncomfortable in my own skin. A cisgendered male friend of mine asked me a couple days ago if I could describe dysphoria to him, and I gave him examples of like specific things, but one of the things I said is my body is a living prison that I'm stuck in every day, and that's just what kind of hit home. I think for me it was nice to sort of see that written out, because I'm like, that is a perfect description. And, you know, like I've said before, I try to be open with this as much as I can for people, but, you know, I don't have any dysphoria around my genitals. I can look between my legs and be like, no, I'm a girl, that's fine. It's not that, it's everything else about my body. It's how much hair I grow on my chest and my stomach, it's how tall I am, it's my boxy frame, it's my voice, it's, you know, I look at my face in the mirror without makeup and can see how protruded my brow ridge is, and it's realistically my brow ridge is not that protruded, but to me it bothers me, right, because it's a very masculine feature. Or, you know, I go clothes shopping and it's great and it's fun and I go with my girlfriends, but then, you know, I'll see shoes and I can't buy shoes in a store. I can't buy women's shoes in stores because my feet are so big. I'm a size 13 in men's, which makes me a 15 in women's, and nobody carries 15s in stores here. I have to, if I want heels, if I want genuine women's shoes, I have to order them on Amazon. And sometimes that's really hard to find stuff that I like. And it sucks. It's so... It's obviously size 15 shoes for women, even for specifically cisgendered women, because that's usually what marketing things are gearing towards, right, is cisgendered men and women. It's very, very uncommon. It's very rare. I'm sure there are women who are my size and have my foot size that are cisgendered. But they're rare, and so they don't, you know, stores don't cater to this. Most women's, like specifically women's clothes stores that sell shoes don't even sell shoes that big online, which I think is ridiculous. I think if you're going to make shoes, you should make them available to everyone, especially in fucking 2019. So yeah, there's little things that sort of tick this voice off in my head that goes, oh, by the way, you're a man. And that's what a lot of dysphoria feels like for me. It's this voice in the back of my head screaming at me that I'm a man and that I'm not really a woman and that I'm a boy in a dress, or you know, I'm just a man wearing makeup. I'm pretending. And that's not true, but that's what dysphoria tells you. Dysphoria tells you you're wrong. Dysphoria tells you that you are the gender you were assigned at birth. And all these sorts of things. And it's a constant struggle. It's a struggle every day. And that's really hard sometimes. For the most part, for me, I'm very lucky. Most days it doesn't get to me. The sort of flip side of that is that when I do have a really dysphoric day, it's usually bad. Like I said, this other day where I didn't want to be around any of my girlfriends, that was the worst I think it's been. But yeah, I didn't go outside. We have an outside break room, and my friends were there. I didn't sit with them because it was one of my girlfriends, my best friend actually, and a friend of ours and her boyfriend, and the couple works with us, so like they both work there. And I didn't want to be around my best friend, which sucks. I love her to pieces, but her and my mother are sort of the two people I look at for sort of feminine role models, if that makes sense. And when my dysphoria gets really bad, I start comparing myself to cisgendered women and saying, oh, you'll never have this, you'll never have that. Oh, look at how better she looks because she's a real woman and you're not. I do a lot of that. And I didn't want to be around her because, she's a stunning girl. She's absolutely beautiful. And I couldn't handle it. It was going to crack me. It was going to break me. And then the couple, I didn't want to be around them because they're so like disgustingly infatuated with each other, and it's wonderful. I love people that are, I love seeing couples that are genuinely into each other, right? But again, dysphoric brain was telling me you'll never have that because you're a man. You'll never have a man that loves you because you're a man. And part of that is dysphoria, and part of that is also past histories. Because every man that I've been with has left me for a cisgendered woman, and so that's always a thought in the back of my head, is that he's going to leave you because you're not a real woman, you're not woman enough, right? So these are the sort of things that I deal with on a daily basis, right? Is this sort of voice telling me that I'm not who I am, which is bad enough when I have society doing that. Having society and having a president that has decided that I'm not important is hard enough, but to have that same sort of dialogue happening inside where you can't shut it off. I can't turn off my TV or my computer and not look at what people are saying about people like me. I'm very lucky that I haven't had anybody say anything directly to me. But, I see these stories of trans women getting murdered and see people saying these disgusting transphobic things. Or, I hear stories of friends of mine who get shit said to them, and it breaks my heart. But I can disengage from that to a degree, right? Like I said, I can turn off my electronics, I can disengage directly. But when it's in your own head, you can't. You're stuck there forever. And I'm hoping that the further I go in this journey, and that the more my body begins to change, because a lot of the things that I have a lot of dysphoria about will change with hormones. My body shape will change, right? I'll get more of not a real hourglass because she's thick, right? But my body will get more of a curve to it, and I'll figure out how to change my voice eventually. And I'd like to be able to save up to get my brow ridge shaved. But even if I don't get my brow ridge shaved, my face will start becoming more feminine over time because of hormones. It takes a little longer. Excuse me. But it will happen, and then facial feminization surgery is also a possibility. I probably won't have it if I can help it, A, because expenses, and B, because invasive. And like I said, the really only thing I want done to my face as of right now is my brow ridge. Other than that, I'm fine with watching my face change naturally and having it do its own thing. I'm not against plastic surgery whatsoever, but I just don't want to have a lot of it for me. And then the only other one is top surgery, and that's going to depend on how big my breasts grow on their own, because I don't want a big chest. And if I do that, I'm gonna try and do a fat graft instead of silicone. And I think I talked about this before on camera, but just fat grafts are more natural looking. And that's what I want. Again, I don't have any problem with women, cisgendered or trans, that get big old fake titties. I don't give a damn. You do you, girl. You do what you have to do to make yourself feel beautiful, and that's the important part. For me, I want to look as much like a natural woman as I can, right? I say that except when I do makeup. A lot of the time, I love doing makeup that makes me look kind of fake. I love super matte foundation, and I draw on my eyebrows and all this sort of thing. But that's art for me, so that's a little different, right? Like this makeup is really soft and more girly and feminine, and I did this because of the dysphoria I was feeling earlier this week. I had time and a chance to do makeup today, and we were going out. We being me and my friend were going out, so I wanted to try and look cute and sort of make myself feel better from the other day. And so I did this sort of like really blushy look, and then I decided at last minute to throw on freckles. They're definitely obviously fake. I'm going to try a couple other methods to make them look a little more natural, but I'm starting to like blush. I didn't do blush for a long time, but I'm starting to like it. And when I did this look, I put a little bit on my nose, and it looks so cute, and it gives you a nice, a nice youthful look to my face. And I really like that. So I think I'm probably going to do that a little more often because it's youthful, and making my face look a little more youthful actually helps bring out my feminine features, I think, a little more. So I think I might keep doing the blush on the nose if I wear blush. It looks cute. But yeah, I think that's about it for my waffling on. Yeah, like I said, I don't have much to talk about. And these videos are never really long anyway. But, yeah, so I guess I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.